Hey guys! In today's video I'm gonna actually follow another person's tutorial. I saw this video and I absolutely love it. I saw it some time ago. It is by Irisloveunicorns. I'm not sure, that's her Instagram name, I think. I'm gonna double check that. Okay, yeah, her YouTube name is Irisloveunicorns. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. I absolutely love her and I absolutely love the DIY she did. It's a sweater combined with knitwear. I'm gonna insert a video of her showing it, the result. I absolutely love it. I'm actually not a fan of like knitted sweaters. It's just not really my style. I just don't really like the vibe on me. Like, I can't really pull it off in some way, I don't know. But when I saw this, it really inspired me to wear knitwear, because it's not straight up knitwear. It's actually like, you know, combined with a sweater hoodie, which is something that I pretty much wear all the time. So I don't know, I just really love the combo of two very different pieces combined. So I'm straight up gonna rip her design off, but with two items that I have in my closet. I've prepped them on this hanger. This is the sweater I'm gonna use. It's vintage. I like it, but I don't really use it that much. I have so many different sweaters, so even though this is a bomb sweater, I don't use it as much as the rest. And here we have the knitwear, also vintage. Although I did buy it for the sake of this video, I didn't have it in my closet. So I went to a vintage shop and bought it. And yeah, it's just a basic knitted sweater. But the main thing that was important to me, the thing I absolutely love about her creation, is the turtleneck. That was like an important feature of this knitwear that I wanted to have. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do her design, but with these items instead, and hopefully it turns out good. Let's follow her tutorial. The first thing she did was to cut out all the pieces on both sweaters. I'm gonna link her video in the description. I'm gonna start with cutting both sweaters. So we're gonna cut off the arms, the turtleneck, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other shirt as well. Let's just cut this bad boy up. Alright. Yeah, I think that went well. Great. And we also made it like that, so the sides are open. Oh, I totally forgot. We're also supposed to like eliminate this curve, so we're gonna make it completely straight, if that makes sense. I just have to get my sword. Wait a minute. Thing like... Okay, now we're good. To be on the safe side, I put it like this to see, since I have these patterns on the fabric, it's kind of obvious if they're not the same size and stuff like that. So I put it like this just to, you know, compare it. So you can do that to be extra cautious of how it's gonna look. Now this is like a rough sketch. As you guys can see, this doesn't match, so obviously we have to make this fit, adjust it. This much has to kind of be removed, or we have to take away this curve so the shoulders match. This is gonna be on the inside, And then we have the sleeves. We want this dark to be on the underarms to make it kind of in between. And this is supposed to be like the top part. Although, since the stripes on the Adidas sweater is kind of like the staple, I don't really want to remove it. I want this to be the top part. So I'm thinking of doing armpit, knitwear, and stripes, so it's gonna be 3 layers instead of just 2. Iris did this into an arm, but I want it kind of like a 3-way, so we still save the stripes. I'm gonna figure it out, combine it how I want it. I think I'm gonna cut a little bit of this. I still want the Adidas logo, but I'm gonna eliminate a little bit of this and a little bit of this so we can still have both. As you guys can see, they're kind of big length difference, but I actually like that. I think it's gonna look cool when this is much longer than this part. We're also gonna fix the edges on these parts because we don't want fallout. So we're gonna make zigzags of all the edges. But yeah, I'm gonna puzzle this together and I'm gonna show you what I ending up with. I removed some of the sweater fabric. I'm gonna do the same on the back. I still want the Adidas logo to be visible. I removed some thickness to it. I'm gonna remove, as I said, a little bit of this knitwear as well. I'm gonna fix the back and I'm gonna fold this in the middle so I remove as much on the other side. So it's, you know, how it's called, symmetric? I can't say that word.
No, you messed it up. You're stupid.
Okay, so this is my best effort to try to make them symmetrical. Still can't say that, but yeah, I've pinned them down by pattern. I don't know if you see the needle there. So they're like similar the length. Here we have just me trying to make it as close as possible. When I remove this, it hopefully will be symmetrical. Hopefully that will do it. I think that will be good enough. Let's continue. So this is what the centerpiece is gonna look like. Now we're gonna try to do something fun with these arms. So I'm gonna open them both up and try to manipulate, create one arm combining these two. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a few hours, but I have managed to fix all the edges to prevent fallout, and I've also made this to make it look a little bit more neat. So yeah, this is where we are now. So what I'm gonna do now is to start sewing this together. I think I'm gonna start with the centerpiece. I'm gonna sew the knitwear inside so it looks like this. So now the turtle and chest piece is sewn together. This is what it looks like. Now it's time for the sleeves. I'm gonna try to figure this out. Okay guys, it's officially night. I have made the sleeves. Or no, I have made one sleeve. I don't know what to do about this. I think I'm gonna It's a little bit bigger than the hole, so I need to take away some of the black part. I don't know how big it's gonna get. It's gonna be a surprise, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna do the other sleeve. Okay guys, so I may have some slight problems. The sleeves doesn't match. They're not really the same, so they're not gonna fit. So I need to call for backup fabric to be able to save this mess. So I'm gonna steal fabric from this hoodie that I don't use for my fabric storage. So I'm gonna steal fabric from this shirt and make a bridge, a barrier on both sides to be able to adjust the sleeves. So it's gonna be a dark spot here on both sides to be able to make these sleeves more symmetrical. Hopefully that will do the trick. This is problems that happens to me all the time, but in the end it usually works out. Let's hope it does that this time as well. Hey guys, it's the day after. I just woke up. This is my morning coffee. Before anyone comments anything, yes, I skate. No, I cannot do a kickflip. I can't even do a ollie. So that's that. I wear this bad boy anyway, and if you got a problem with that, then that's your problem. Okay, let's continue. So this is how the sleeves turned out. As you can see, I have built some like a frame with black from that other hoodie that I found because I think they were too short and they were not like similar. I don't know what happened here. Well, why did that one turn out like that and why did this turn out like, I don't know. It wouldn't be my design if I didn't have this much complication. Nothing I ever do goes smoothly, so this is a pure Ellen design. Anyway, I'm gonna try to fix this and try to, you know, make them fit to these arms. So I've needled this a little bit and I put the centerpiece on top of the sleeve just to make sure that we get enough fabric and that it fits. So I think I'm gonna draw in shape here to know what to sew after. So I'm gonna take like a white pencil and like from here I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger just to, you know, be sure that it's gonna fit and I don't make it too small. I don't know if you can see, but I made 2 white lines. This one is the shape I followed when I copied this hole. So this is the first line. This one is the one I'm gonna cut after. So it's gonna overlap the shirt later. I'm gonna cut the outer one just to clean it up because we don't need this much fabric here. So I'm gonna follow this shape. This line I'm gonna sew after to create the sleeve, and then obviously we're gonna cut this excess here. Okay guys, so as you can see I have stitched the under part of the sleeves on both sides and I have cut this excess here so it has more of that armpit shape where we're gonna attach it to the mid part. I'm probably gonna fix this edge as well, do it like this so when you flip it it's gonna look better on the other side, and then we're gonna try to attach these on the centerpiece. I have cut off the excess and I have pinned down the edge on this sleeve. Now I'm gonna sew right here so when you flip this inside out, it will look like this. So this one I've already sewn and this is what it looks like when you flip it. So yeah, it's starting to look a lot better than it did before. I'm starting to getting close to the finish line. Now I still think it's gonna be a bitch to attach this to the centerpiece, but I think it's gonna be easier now with this little bridge that we created. Okay guys, I managed to attach one sleeve. It actually went good. I went in the same track as when I flipped this edge on the arm, and yeah, it's stuck quite good. Now the hard part has been to kind of make this sleeve similar, making the patterns match, that it's on the right place. I had some issues because I felt like this area is shorter, but I can't like raise it up because it makes this sleeve not lie flat. So I've been struggling a little bit. I think it's on the right spot now. So I'm gonna try to sew this just like I did with this one. So I'm just gonna go with the machine, follow this path right here, and then it's gonna stick to the centerpiece. Is that straight? I don't know. Okay guys, we are done. Okay, here she is. Now, I wanted to give up a few times during this process because this was way harder than I thought it was. Iris made it look so simple. But I don't know if she's like really skilled, if she got lucky, or if I'm just making it way more complicated than it needs to be. I don't know, but I really struggled with this. The centerpiece was fine, that was pretty simple, but the sleeves, man, they were hard. And I don't know if that's because I made a triple way. I always made 2 parts, but I don't know. They were really hard to make. And then I thought attaching the sleeves to the centerpiece was gonna be hard. That wasn't that hard. The hard part was pinning them down so they would look, you know, symmetrical on the shirt, like these white parts being symmetrical, the Adidas stripes being symmetrical, pinning, like attaching one sleeve and then making the other sleeve symmetrical to that sleeve. That was a bitch. And the thing is, people always gives me credit saying that I'm so creative and I get a lot of love for the things I do, which obviously it fills my heart, but I often feel kind of fake because I often in the past I haven't really shown my struggle. I always show the end result, but I haven't really shown my struggle. I have begun to do that now with the patchwork I did, the pants. I showed you my mistake in it, I showed you the process, I showed you how I changed things. And the same thing about this, I did make mistakes. The sleeves, I didn't make them similar in the attaching area. I think that's what people don't realize. Nothing I do ever comes out easy. I never succeed on the first go. I never do something without struggling. I struggle a lot, and I think that's because I don't really think before I act. I just do. I screw up and I'm be like, oh fuck, and I have to fix it. And I think that's when a lot of people don't have the patience to fix it. They give up. But I often feel like I have spent too much time to walk away, so I have to proceed. I have to fix my mistake. And yeah, I don't think people realize that. I did make the mistake with the sleeves. How did I fix it? I made this bridge to extend the sleeves and make them look more similar. I did that and I thought that would have fixed the problem, but then I tried it on and it looked bad. It looked off and I was about to give up again. Why does it look so horrible? And I think it was because this was open. It was this black part here with the sleeve and the centerpiece, and it both had these flicked edges, and it was just laying next to each other, and then there was this white stripe in between, and it just made it look not complete. What I did to fix that issue was to close them up so you don't see any white in between. So I sewed the black parts together, I laid them on together because they were kind of overlapping. And you can see some white, and I put them together and went with a straight stitch right on to close them up, and that really saved it. That made it look way more together than it did before, and that's how I fixed that issue. And I also had some problems with the cuffs. This one I did properly, and this one, as you saw, they were like sticking up with the white. I flicked them in, and I mean, it's not perfect. Like, what is this? I tend to do a lot of mistakes when I do DIYs, and that's because I don't have any sew experience apart from the DIY projects I have done. I've never taken a course. We have sewing classes in school, in high school, but what did you do? You sewed pillowcases. I don't even remember. Broderie, what heter det? Anyway, the only experience I have is the one that I've created, and I don't watch like how to sew tutorial. Iris one turned out better than mine because her was more oversized. Also, a thing I didn't think about, this one, it's not as oversized as I wanted it to be. I mean, it's still a unique piece, and my mistakes, as I said, is starting off as a mistake, but I mean, this black piece, it makes mine look not as similar as Iris. It doesn't turn out as much as a rip-off, if that makes sense. So it does make mine look a little bit different, and that's a good thing in my opinion. If you make mistakes, you often learn from them. I've learned that you have to check the end parts before you sew them together. You have to make the pieces equally big. You should pin them before you sew them. All of that stuff. And some mistakes I learn from and I don't do again. Some mistakes I tend to repeat. It's gonna take some time before I actually learn not to make them. And that's probably because I don't sew every day. I do it like once every other month. Now, in the past, I did a DIY maybe once a year. If you don't practice, you will never be better at it. And I don't make DIYs to be better at sewing. I do it because I want to make DIY project. You know, be able to wear something that you made, like you designed this from the flesh, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm happy with it. I mean, it could have been better. It's not as good as I thought it would be, but that's because it's not as baggy as I wanted it to be. But it's still a good piece, and yeah, I'm happy. Big shout out to Iris and her piece and how she made it look so simple, because it wasn't. Be sure to check out her original video. Make sure to follow her. She's a great YouTuber. I really love her. Here's a video of me showing how this piece looks on me. So yeah, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it's fun to watch me make mistakes. I feel like that's a thing I do in every video. It's, as I said, it's not a LN/Little Dizzy project if it goes on the first try. You have to be struggling for it to be a real Little Dizzy creation, because I'm a little bit dizzy, you know. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!